Hey GA, this is Mr. Chung. I hope you've all been staying safe and staying healthy and really finding some fun and interesting things to do as we're all staying home right now. One of the things that I really love to do is get in my kitchen and love to cook. And so as you can see here, I've got some dough that's in the middle of rising. And with this, I'm gonna make a really simple but delicious pizza out of sausage, peppers, and onions. So keep watching and I'll show you how it's done. So a few things about the dough. First off, if you don't want to make your own dough, that's totally fine. Frozen pizza dough from the supermarket or from your grocery store is absolutely okay. Just make sure that before you're making your pizza that you put that frozen dough in a big container and let it rise for about 6 to 12 hours. Now when you shape your dough, it's really important that you do not use a rolling pin to flatten it, because what happens is that if you flatten out the dough, then you're basically kind of removing all the bubbles and the whole structure that were created when we were letting it rise. So just use your hands, get in there, and just kind of work your way out from the center. And then once it's kind of big enough, a little bit, you can just start to use gravity to kind of help you shape the dough to a certain point. Now it doesn't have to be a perfect circle, that's totally fine. You know, it's still gonna be delicious even if it's like a weird oval shape, it's absolutely okay, all right? And then the last thing that we're gonna talk about is that, you know, we have our toppings ready here, but we're actually not gonna put that on right now, and we're gonna pre-bake our dough. And the reason why we do this is because if you put the sauce and the toppings on right now, the liquid from the sauce is actually going to sink in, and it's gonna make that crust really soggy, which we don't want. So by pre-baking it, it's gonna help form that crust and dry out the top so that we can really get that crispy and chewy crust that we want, all right? So I'm gonna go ahead and take out my cast iron pan. This has been preheated in the oven at 450 degrees, and we're just gonna gently lift our dough. Probably could use a little bit more flour, but we should be okay. And place it on here. I think that made my dough a little bit too big, but we'll be fine. And then we're gonna throw it back in the oven. All right, so I'll see you in 5 to 6 minutes. Okay, so it's been about 5 to 6 minutes, so we're gonna go ahead and see what our dough looks like now. Oh yeah, that's perfect. I can just eat that right now. All right, so as you can see, the top part of our crust is dried out. The bottom part is starting already, which is great. And now we're ready to put on our sauce and all of our toppings. So I'm just gonna start with a really light layer of sauce, pizza sauce here. I don't like to go too heavy on this. All these bubbles here were from the rise of that dough, which is gonna be so great when we actually bite into this. Beautiful. And then I actually like to put cheese on my pizza twice. I'm gonna put it on right now initially, and this is just gonna help the rest of the ingredients just really meld together with the pizza. So I'll sprinkle off a really nice layer first. Doesn't have to be a lot since we are gonna put cheese on again, unless you really like having a lot of mozzarella cheese on your pizza. Great, and then we're gonna add the rest of our ingredients. We have some pre-cooked, pre-sauteed onions here with butter, salt, and a little tad bit of sugar. And then coming up next after that, we've got some fresh peppers just to kind of give it a little bit of crispness, a little fresh taste on the pizza. Worry so much about how it's spread out or how it's placed. It's pizza after all. And then finally, we've got our pre-cooked sausage. All right, and like I said before, we're gonna add on a second layer of cheese to this. Great. Oh, actually, you know what? Wait 1 second. I've got a little leftover ricotta cheese, so we're just gonna take a spoon and just put a couple of small dollops on here just to kind of add a little bit of creaminess to a few bites in our pizza. So one here. Awesome. Wow, I mean, I could eat this right now, probably. Great. And then we're gonna put this back in the oven for another 15 minutes or so, basically up until the point where the edge of this crust is browning, all right? All right, hope you guys are excited. Okay, so the oven timer is going off, which means that we are near the end, but not quite yet. I mean, look at that. That's awesome. So once you take your pizza out, it's really important that you actually let it rest for a number of reasons. Number one, it's because there's a lot of heat retention in this cast iron pan, so it's going to continue to help this crust on the bottom form, which is great. And second of all, there's nothing worse than biting into a hot slice of pizza and just burning the roof of your mouth. So let's just let it rest and cool down for a little bit. Obviously, first, phone's got to eat. So, all right, you guys ready? We're gonna first start off with obviously some freshly cracked black pepper on it, just a little extra flavor and seasoning. And now I don't actually have one of those like fancy pizza slicers, and that's fine. I'm just gonna use a regular knife to cut my slice. Whoa, did you guys hear that? That is amazing. Wow. Cannot wait. Wow. Unbelievable. That is so delicious. Hey, listen guys, it's been so much fun doing this for all of you, and you know, I want you to know that we all miss you. Sorry, I've got a mouthful of pizza. And we cannot wait to see everybody back on campus. We're all gonna get through this together. Just stay positive, be well, be safe, be healthy, and of course, eat well.